we are here for some Pyre Rite Nite action, multiplayer Pyre, that is, featuring primarily people from... Is he here? The Rite Club? Discord server? Baylor got it this time. The weekly battle, me versus Artemis Fowl, trying to figure out who is going to be the one to say Rite Nite. Well, I guess I'm always the one saying Rite Nite, but copying in the command into chat. That is the place to get more involved in this multiplayer Pyre action. If you are not in that Discord group yet, then make sure to click on that link that Baylor just sent out. Other than that, though, you guys in chat, you are not off the hook. No, no, no. You see that red circle with the white L below chat? You click on that. Those are your various options that you have in terms of requests that you can make for people participating in the rites. So you can do things like request specific exiles, masteries, talismans, arenas, songs, Titan stars, you name it, we got it. So, without further ado, let's jump into the versus mode screen here, and let's get ready to go. Alright, so that means we are looking to have a couple of people to start us off for the night, and I did see at least a couple of people, or at least one person I think, who has not yet participated in these Rite Nites yet. So, generally speaking, if we are to have new people in, then we like to have them kick things off and have a bit of a celebratory introductory rite. So if there is anyone who has not yet played with us and wants to get the chance to do so, then I extend an official invitation to you now. If you would like to, we'd be happy to get you in right off the bat. If not, then just about anyone can pop in now and we'll get going. In the meantime, let me just quickly switch us over to our usual default settings here. But of course, like I said, if you guys want to request anything in particular, you're more than welcome to do so. So, who would like to get us started? Rumi says, I might start things off. Alright, why don't we get you in here, Rumi? Let me send you a quick invite. Oh, and I forgot to jump into chat. Why don't I do that as well? I forgot. Okay. Hello. Sorry about that. I forgot about chat. Oh, and I might be technically on push to talk on Discord right now. Hold on. I forgot. There we go. That should be better. Now people in Discord, in theory, can hear me. Okay. Yeah, Diamond Blade. I know you were saying a while ago that you were hoping you'd get the chance to jump in at some point. If you were available, then we'd be happy to get you in now, if you're up for it. Otherwise, we have Arumi, says he's starting up the computer. Baylor and Lag sound like either of them could be available otherwise. If not, then we'll get some of you guys in a little later on. But we'll have plenty of time to get multiple people in. Of course, the general goal of the night is to get as many people to play as possible. Give you all a few rights, and then once people start to need to take a break, we'll swap someone else in. Ooh, Kraja has a request. Okay, fire away. Scourge of the Fury. Oh, that's from Hades. Okay, so in that case, hold on just a second. That means what we need to do is we need to turn off the in-game music, and then we'll actually summon Tariqbot early. Yeah, wow. I think we've gone some Rite Nites as of late with little to no Tariqbot action, so good to see we're getting things started on a good note here. So, let's see. Was Scourge of the Fury, is that right? Let's get that going. Okay, Tariqbot. My first impression is that we're going to need to bump up your volume a bit, although this is a relatively quiet intro, so hard to gauge exactly if this is the right setting here. I probably haven't changed the volume since our last Rite Nite, so it's probably good, and this is just, like I said, quiet intro, but We'll play it by ear a little bit. Alright, no worries, Diamond Blade. Happy to have you, nonetheless, and like we were saying, if you want to see anything in particular, then feel free to make any requests with the red circle with the white L. Click on that, and you can do anything like request exiles, masteries, talismans, whatever you want to see. Arumi, you're switching teams on us. You were the Essence, now you're going, or then you were going Dissidents, now you're going back to the Essence. I don't know, man. I don't know. Raising some questions. Raising some questions. Oh, no worries, Diamond Blade. Happy to have you. Alright, let me quickly get Arumi in here, and I think I need to boot up Steam Friends real quick as well. Arumi, are you up and running yet? I don't think I'm seeing you at this very moment. Almost? Okay. And so we're getting Arumi in. Do we have someone yet who's confirmed they want to be the other person? I know Failer and Lag were saying we're potentially available. Diamond Blade, you're saying mostly just here to watch for today. Others who want in early, or, I mean, if you have time constraints in particular, like if you need to go after a certain amount of time, then we'll definitely try to make a point of getting you in early, so you get the chance to play. Man, Transistor multiplayer, that'd be... I don't know how it worked exactly, but I'd love to see it. Yeah. Not sure how it would really work in Transistor. It'd be tough. I think you're onto something there, cool guy. Might take away a bit from the feel of the game, the atmosphere of the game. That's right, yeah, if it's like a 1v1, I guess I was thinking like co-op multiplayer rather than PvP, although yeah, PvP would be a little bit strange if it's basically just whoever manages to hit the turn button first. Alright, anyways. Still not seeing you, Rumi. Don't think. Steam is being slow. Uh-oh. Hopefully it's not one of those days. Steam has, at times, thrown us for a bit of a loop when Steam Remote Play is uncooperative, so hopefully that's not an indication that things are going to get a little bit rocky later on, but fingers crossed. Should be open now. Just a minute. No sign of Arumi yet. Music is kicking in. There's Arumi right on cue. Alright. Invite sent to you, Arumi. And yeah, we heard there were a few people who were saying they're potentially available to go against Arumi here. Who would like to be our second person to start things off? Getting ready for 18 heat run? Nice. Halo, we go? Alright. Let me send you an invite as well then. Alright. Invite sent to you, and let me set you two up on here as well. Rumi, you said you're going to be the Essence today. Okay, getting some people in now. Resend you the invite? Okay. Hopefully you are still going to be player 1, because I may or may not have just typed in your name on player 1. Alright, invite resent. Let us see if Arumi remains player 1 or Failure is player 1. Failure, if you move your bumpers real quick to see which triumvirate you change, can you just double check as to which team you are listed as right now? If that's Failure, that would suggest that Failure is in fact player 1. It won't open. That's a weird one. That's quite strange. Let me just see if so the invite went through, but it for some reason is not allowing you to open the game. That is odd. Like join and nothing happens. Yeah, I see that it sent you the request, though it still says that you haven't joined. Strange. That sounds like maybe it's best, Arumi, if you do something like restart Steam. Sounds like, based on what you were saying before, that Steam is maybe acting a little bit weird at the moment, and Steam certainly can do that. So maybe if you give it a little bit of a restart, it might start to do what it's supposed to do after that. Yeah, that sounds like that might be the way to go. Alright, but either way, Failure is player 1, it would appear, so let me set him up in the correct spot here. Okay, and Failure will be the Fate, as per usual. And then player 2, in theory, is Arumi on the Essence, but we shall see if Steam cooperates. Fingers crossed on that front. Try again? Okay, let me resend you the invite then. Okay, resend. Gaben, please. There we go. Okay, perfect. Let me just throw on your sigil here on the stream real quick. There you go. All right. Oh, I just realized I forgot to loop the previous song request, which is finishing. Oh, lag bailed me out. Thank you, lag. Realized that I forgot to loop and did it for me. True hero. The hypest menu screen ever. Alright, so we only have song requests for the moment, and those are primed and ready to go, so let's hop in. What's up, Layla? How are you? So we'll have Failure on the left as player 1 representing the Fate versus Arumi on the right representing the Essence to start things off. It will be the Glade-a-Loo.
The Essence. Welcome. Who shall conduct?
Yeah, this is Kraja's request. And then we'll have yours after this.
This cursor speed is a bit slower than before. Did you change a setting or something?
I didn't, no. I mean, there was that time where initially it had a slower cursor speed, a relatively normal cursor speed, so to speak, and then later on, yeah, maybe every once in a while when we accidentally switch music volume, we are touching the cursor speed. I was gonna say, yeah, at times, several months ago, we were talking about how the cursor speed had gotten faster, and I don't think anyone deliberately had changed it, but now it might be.
I thought you had. Maybe you were playing campaign or something.
I don't know.
You wanted to do menuing faster.
No. Never intended.
Messenger Imp.
Alright, so Phaler is leading off with Dalbert, and he seems to be taking Raji here, which would suggest he's going for the full Fate setup. One of his go-to
As
teams.
is tradition. Fate are nothing if not traditional.
Do you always start with that one, Phaler? I mean,
Yeah,
I know
I try to.
you use it a lot, but I haven't taken note of whether that's always the first team that you use.
If
on
there isn't a
given
request, then yeah, I always will start with it. It's a really fun team to play, I just like it. And it's, fitting given that I'm actually being the Fate, so...
I mean, it's a well-balanced team. Got a quick plunging scorer in Delbert, got a great throwing scorer in Almer, and then Raji is great defensively.
Yeah, it's just a really good team. It's a team I'd be... Yeah, it's probably one of my high picks to win a tournament. Were it to be taken by someone.
And so here we go, first ride of the night. Arumi with the Orb first here. And Arumi likes to use the Crones aggressively for scoring and nearly made it in there with Plunge, but here comes Dalbert. And he is quick. That's an early score here for Phaler. And of course, in the Gladealoo, the arena will continue to get smaller as these two continue to score. Dalbert's back at it, hops around some defenders, and for a second there, it looked like he was going to run out of stamina, but nope, had just enough to make it into the Pyre there. Here is Bertrude. And those are big jumps, although Phaler saw it coming and was able to block it. Raji. Watch out for that portal that Arumi has set up there. That is dangerous. Ooh, and a Titan Tooth that Arumi took means that Arumi is stunning whenever Arumi jumps into someone on that character, which I believe was his Messenger Imp, if I'm not mistaken. That could give an opportunity to either banish someone or perhaps even launch a quick attack. Jody, oh, she goes down. That means no one to stop Phaler. Oh, unless Bertrude comes back in time to intercept the throw. Bertrude goes down, now Almer goes down. Messenger Imp gets rid of it. Jody picks it back up, back to Messenger Imp, back to Jody, Messenger Imp. Bertrude, which I think is probably going to be Arumi's preferred scorer here. Oh, and Jodariel just a step too slow to intercept that throw. Here's Dalbert, back again. Doing what he does best. Hopping over defenders and into the Pyre. Imp versus Imp. Phaler's Imp wins out, and Bertrude goes down as well. Arena growing quite small. Dalbert. And he finishes it.
Good game.
It was a glorious performance, I must say.
GG.
The rite is ended.
It's a tough warm-up going against Phaler, but well played.
Until the next rite.
Alright, so chat, let us know if there's anything you want to see for the next rite. I will turn off TariqBot real quick, because that request has already been made, and the next one will be for, well, saw it was from Artemis Fowl, so I think I know what it's going to be. TariqBot is no more. Let me double check that request from Artemis Fowl. Oh, wait. Hold on. Hold on. Just 1 second. He's done it. He's done it. That song request is going to have to go on hold for just a minute longer here. We'll turn back on the music, yes. However, Arumi has unleashed Falcon Ron. The absolute mad lad. What have you done? The insanity. Could it be? Could it be? Actually, tell you what. We might even have something on TariqBot that could work well for this. It's been a long time since anyone did Falcon Ron. That's right. I think Cam, in theory, has the points for it. I'm actually going to go back to Treekbot here for a second, but I think Cam, in theory, does have the points for it. There might be some other people who do as well, but for whatever reason, it has not been something that we've seen people request as of late. Let's see. Leave. This will do the trick. Let's see. Yes. This, and then... Okay, well, we do still want to play the in-game music, it would appear.
From the plains that sleep below.
Is Treekbot still doing his thing? He is, but he's quite quiet. Okay, for this one, I think we're going to have to turn it up. Okay. Still a little bit quiet, but... Okay, so... We have had a Falcon Ron request, and for those of you who have not seen a Falcon Ron request before and are unsure what that means, well, you are about to find out. Alright, so... Let's see. Oh, another thing we can do to set this up real quick here. So Rumi, I believe this is your first time having requested Falcon Ron before, because there are a select few who have done it. But, do you know what you're in for here? Maybe? Possibly? Alright. Well, let us get things going then. Let us see what madness might ensue if Falcon Ron is to get a little bit more involved in this upcoming right here. Unleash the Ron. Oh, did I meant to... Hold on. Did I put on Dirty Deal? I meant to put on Dirty Deal. I don't think I put on Dirty Deal. 1 second. This as well. Of course. Yes, we have released the Pyre version of the Kraken.
Welcome. Who shall conduct the rites?
He doesn't know what's going to happen. Chaos is the answer. Chaos.
Bertrude.
So we're gonna put all other requests on hold for now, because this is the Falcon Ron request, and this one is pretty large, all-encompassing type of request. So anything from talismans or song standpoint that we saw some people were requesting, we're gonna hold those off and do those for the right after this, in order to fully embrace the Falcon Ron madness. So it'll be Bertrude plus Raji plus maybe Tizo on Phaler's side. And Arumi has Udmilda, Snadra, and last will be perhaps Panatha, going left side for the speed. Thinking about the legendary talisman, no, goes for Titan Tooth for the stuns. And here we go. What will ensue remains to be seen. How will Falcon Ron intervene in this right? We shall see, if at all.
The orb bathes first in the essence flame. The orb is up.
Oh, and those throws are unblockable. They are unblockable.
What dangerously close.
Bertrude goes down to Snadra. Snadra, she goes down to Raji. Here is Bertrude. Bertrude, throw is unblockable and it's on the mark.
Stricken from afar. the ceremony.
And Valor has just 15 life remaining, and he's done it.
The fate
Just needed one more score.
accomplished effortlessly, I might add.
A quick one.
The rite is complete.
Good game. Trying to hightail it out of Ron's turf.
It was like, maybe I go fast enough. Ron won't
Until the stars
cause havoc.
alive.
My own crones used against me. Alright, let us tell Falcon Ron to take a break. And let us get back to the other requests that we were seeing. So, let me take a quick look, because I think we had a few things that were on the docket, so to speak. But, like I said, the Falcon Ron request is a big one, so we wanted to make sure that we got that one in. Yeah, it was hard to tell with how short that rite was, but, Falcon Ron intervenes in the rites whenever you summon him. He does what he wants to do. It just may have been quick enough that it was hard to notice. Okay, so let's see. Getting caught up on the requests here. And yes, so, as expected, looks like the next song request is Thrash Pack from Artemis Fowl. Sure thing. But I thought there might have been other things as well. Let me just continue to skim through here, because it's gotten a little bit buried in chat now. Then we had Falcon Ron. That may have been it. I think that was all. Let me know if I missed anything there, if you guys made any requests and I have not yet done them, in which case we can make them happen right now. And if you hadn't made any, but you still want to, then of course, welcome to do so. Baylor's requesting imps. Yeah, Cam, I believe... Have you invoked Ron twice? You've done it at least once, maybe twice. Cam's the primary person. Baylor, I think, has done it once. That might have been it before this one from Marumi. 2 times for Cam. And Isla Kalimer. Okay, well, good idea. We're going all imps. You gotta go Isla Kalimer, right? Alright, let's get this one started then. Taylor's like, I could do it. I could do it.
The fate shall take on the essence. Welcome.
Alright, so it's all imps,
Who shall
Isla Kalimer,
guide
and we have a
the
song
rites?
request going as well, but other than that, you're free to take whichever masteries or talismans you'd like. So Baylor's starting out with the Lanthorn, and those talismans are going to be key, because that is going to be one of the few differences between these two teams, of course, with them all being imps.
Tizo.
Arumi going Mooncrest here. So already a pretty significant difference between Arumi's team and Baylor's team. The other tricky thing is trying to remember which talisman you have on which imp. Titan Tooth we've seen several people take already. It will stun people that Baylor runs into with Tizo, or flies into, I should say, with Tizo. Quick throwing talisman for Messenger Imp, perhaps. And all imps is a very strong defensive team, however, it can be very tough to score against them. So finding a way to sneak in some form of offense is likely to be the difference maker here. So things like that quick throwing talisman could be key. See what Arumi goes for here. Prayer beads could also be a strong option there. Here is the quick throwing talisman on Messenger Imp. So Phaler's all locked in. And for Arumi, going for the Titan Tooth in the last spot. Here we go, all Imps Isla Kalimer. With some Crashback going as well. Watch out for those huge implosions. Phaler gets rid of all of Arumi's characters there. However, Arumi does get someone back in time. Oh, and that's Phaler's Titan Tooth there, taking effect. That was stunning Arumi, giving Phaler a little bit of time to sneak in that 10 damage throw. Arumi with the orb here, but runs out of stamina, just in time for Phaler to swoop in and banish. Don't believe we saw anyone take Haoob's Wing, the legendary Imp Talisman, which is a little bit surprising, because that is a strong talisman. Oh, and Arumi has a well-placed portal and plunges for 25, so Arumi takes the lead there, and that was Arumi's Imp that had Prayer Bead, so certainly the Imp that Arumi wanted to plunge with. Like I was saying before, that is one of the challenges with these types of rites when you're playing everyone from the same class, is trying to remember which character has which talisman, because there's a big difference between plunging with the Imp that has Prayer Beads and plunging with an Imp that does not have Prayer Beads. Gizo back just in time to defend. Arumi, oh, saw Phaler coming through that portal and prioritized banishing him over taking the orb. But Phaler comes back, banishes a few. Arumi still has it here. But Phaler defends. Arumi defenseless at the moment, but now has time to get someone back and defend properly. And moves those Imps around. Did find recently, this was news to me at least, that yes, you can in fact move the Imps, the arena Imps, those red ones that are just running around in the middle, if you have the orb and you fly over them with one of these Imps. As for whether either of these two players can make any use out of that remains to be seen. But Arumi, at least for a second there, was making it happen. Here is Arumi. Runs out of stamina though, can't escape. Arumi back at it though. But everyone down now. Opportunity perhaps for Phaler. Arumi banishes one, now banishes two, and now suddenly Arumi's the one who might have a numbers advantage here. But a 1v1 near Phaler's Pyre. Phaler at least delays long enough to get reinforcements, but doesn't stop Arumi. And once again, a 25 damage plunge. And I believe that was the Imp that had Prayer Bead. So Arumi executing well in that regard and extending the lead. Arumi thinking about going through the portal. Gets banished and the orb gets knocked out. No one back to defend for Phaler, at least for a moment. But Raji back in time, and now Arumi not fast enough. Had some Imps that were just spawning in. Phaler actually had to cut the throw a little bit short in order to get it off in time, otherwise it likely would have been intercepted. There's Titan Tooth now. Whose was it? Looks like it was Phaler's. Meaning that stunned Arumi and nearly gave Phaler enough time to get the throw off, but Arumi that time did have enough time to recover and intercept. Imp for an Imp, and now Arumi is defenseless. And Phaler gets that one in. And now we are quite close here. Arumi's still hanging on to a slim lead. Phaler has certainly narrowed the gap. Here is Arumi. He goes down. Just one Imp back to defend. Has one back now. And the Imp trading continues. Phaler, oh, that was the quick throwing Imp for sure. Nearly got that one off, but Arumi is back in time to stop it. Messenger Imp we saw is the Imp that Arumi wants to score with, so keep an eye on Messenger Imp in particular for Arumi. Here's a Titan Tooth again, and this time it's Arumi's Titan Tooth that triggers, stunning Phaler and giving Arumi time to follow up with the banishment. Oh, they trade places, and for a second there you thought Phaler might have had enough of a head start to make it into the Pyre, but Phaler has a very dangerous portal position, takes that, near to Rumi's Pyre. That was almost enough for him to score there, but Rumi is back in time to defend. And like we were saying, this is, by and large, a very defensive Rite, as you would tend to think would happen with all imps. It is largely coming down to when players have all their imps banished, such as that occasion there, giving Phaler enough time to get a 25 damage throw off, and meaning that Phaler now takes the lead. Izo gets rid of the orb. Oh, seemed like he might have been thinking about giving the orb to Phaler and then doing that to get rid of his aura and follow up with a banishment. More or less what Phaler did there, though. And that's the quick throw. Gets him all the way up to 25 damage in the blink of an eye, and now suddenly Arumi has just one more hit that he can take. And that would send him out. So running out of time here, and no one back to stop this. Oh, but Phaler's throw is off the mark. Still enough time to finish it up, though.
Good game.
GG.
Perhaps they do deserve their freedom after all. The rite is done.
That was a fun one. Well played. All imps, especially on Isla Kalamer, always good. Alright, so we will reset things unless there's anything in particular that you all want to see, in which case, let us know.
I think that Moon Crest is actually pretty useful in that matchup. I don't think I've seen that before in triple imp versus triple imp.
Yeah, I was surprised to see you take it, but might have helped out. Ah, cool guy. Cool guy says, it is boat o'clock. Not only is it boat o'clock, it is also time to break out everyone's favorite character. The Stinky Trash Man. So, Oralek on both teams, and then Knights of the Sea is fitting. Sure, we'll make that happen as well. So, you have chosen death. Yeah, I'm not much of a demon player myself, but on the boat, it does get pretty chaotic. It's a lot of fun, just seeing what you can do with the crazy distance you can get on some of the jumps. Anything else we want for this next one? We have one character, an arena, and a song. Anything to build off that, or will that be all? Ooh, Angie. Alright, well, let's check it out.
The fate shall take on the essence.
So you're taking Oralek,
Welcome.
but up to you as to where on the team he ends
Who
up.
shall conduct the rites?
Taylor thinking about taking prayer beads on him. And the meta setup, so to speak, would be Celestial Spike, and then the quick throwing talisman, although on the boat, maybe you're thinking a little bit more plunging oriented than throwing oriented, given how you can jump an extra distance. That is the meta setup, at least from a mastery standpoint here from Rumi. Does he complement that with the quick throwing talisman, or does he go with something else instead? No, goes for infinite stamina, or at least potentially infinite stamina, with one of the rings. So keep an eye out for that. Give Rumi infinite stamina at the beginning of a round with Oralek and whichever other character has the other ring, as well as some small boosts to some of his attributes, which actually may not seem like much to many other characters, but boosting Oralek's hope up from 1 to 3 might, I don't know how much it's going to reduce his respawn time, but I think it's quite a bit. Yeah, infinite stamina Oralek is dangerous. So it'll be Pamitha, who'll be the other one, who has the other ring, so she will also have infinite stamina at the beginning of her round. It's 18 seconds, so it almost cuts Orlek's respawn time in half. Normally you'd say, well, boosting an attribute by 2 is not a big deal, but when it is as low as 1, crippling it up to 3 is pretty significant, as you see there. It goes from a 30-second respawn time to an 18-second respawn time. 30 is seemingly an eternity. 18 is still a long time, but it's not nearly as bad.
Exile.
Yeah, that's pretty huge for Orlek, for sure. Although, despite that, we really don't see many people taking the ring on Orlek. When we do see the rings on demons, it's usually with the typical demons. The Jodariels, the Ignariuses, the Vids Paleths. But you can make the case that's actually most important for Orlek. And there you see some of that speedy, infinite stamina Orlek action from Marumi, allowing him to catch up to Phaler's Orlek and banish him. Here is Phaler's Orlek. He goes down.
Was almost true.
Marumi with Raji. Opts to get rid of it. Takes out Phaler's Orlek. Now this is the danger of those infinite stamina rings, is that they give you a nice bonus at the beginning of the round when you get the infinite stamina, but then once that expires, it just +2 to all your attributes, and that's not that big compared to some of the other talismans. So Rumi very much wants to play quickly here and benefit while he has that infinite stamina, because once it's gone, you could say advantage Phaler, at least from a talisman standpoint. And Phaler with the first score here, although Rumi making some aggressive plays here with Pamitha. She goes down. Now Phaler with Orlek. For a second there, it looked like Ravi was hiding behind his own Pyre. Some bowed magic for additional jumping distance from Orlek. Makes it in now for another 25 damage. Here is Orlek. Oh, but he goes down to a big implosion. Titan Tooth. I believe that was... Is that a double Titan Tooth? Like both characters got stunned there for a second.
The orb is up.
Soxiana flies around. Oh! Jukes out the defender and makes it in for a 20 damage plunge. Well maneuvered from Phaler there. Orlek banishes the defender. Orlek versus Orlek. Arumi's Orlek has it. Oh, but he goes down.
All banished.
And that means everyone is gone here for Arumi. Pamitha maybe back in time here. Can she stop Orlek here, though? Yes, seemingly. But not for long.
In the name of
Orlek makes it back in, and that means Arumi is down to just 5 Pyre life. Now is the time to make a move. Can he make it happen? There's the infinite stamina Orlek magic. Come on and slam. Pamitha runs out of stamina, can't fly past Orlek. Raji needs to defend here and does. But he goes down. Pamitha is coming back quickly enough. Oh, and Orlek tried to go through the portal, but he goes down. And, oh, head start here for Arumi. Makes it all the way to the opposing Pyre, and Arumi says, I'm not done yet. I'm not going down without a fight here. Phaler banishes Orlek, and Pamitha is gone for good. And Phaler finishes it.
Good game.
GG.
That's at the end there. Pretty good.
Their adversaries wallow in defeat. The ceremony is complete.
All right. Well played, you two. Let's head back to versus mode and chat. Let us know what, if anything else, in particular you want to see. Orlek is so hard to play without feeling like trash. On the boat, I feel like if you are deliberately trying to take most advantage of the boat magic and jumping, you jump near any of those sources of little water, oftentimes he'll basically just get a free second jump, and he more or less can fly in that case. And so it's gimmicky. It doesn't always work as planned, because sometimes you get a little bit of a boost, sometimes you get a huge boost and you soar. So hard to plan around it, but if you're willing to embrace the chaos, then sometimes you get some magic. Yeah, if you're not used to demons, he can be hard to control. Raja says, this time it's gotta be Jody. Okay. Let's go back to our default settings for other things, unless you guys have specific arenas or songs that you want. Yeah, even if you're not a huge demon player, you can probably still fit in one demon on your team and just make them more or less your designated defender. That's not too difficult, but once you start getting multiple demons, or if you have a team that relies on your demons to score, and on that occasion, if you're not much of a demons player, then that can start to get pretty tricky. They are good. They take some practice. They take some getting used to. Because you're not beating anyone for speed, not unless you're getting the infinite stamina or doing special things like teleporting your demons, which I mean is not really directly speed, but other ways to increase their mobility. So it takes some getting used to say, jump and precisely locate your jump so that you knock opponents back, and that way, even if you are slower, you can still make enough time and space to keep moving forward and make it all the way to the opposing pyre with the demon. Whereas if it's your first time playing demons, you're probably not going to get that right. Yeah, and if you put on the rings and give them infinite stamina, then that can get pretty crazy. Because then they go from one of the slowest characters into arguably the fastest, at least while they have that infinite stamina.
Yeah, cool guy's got it. You've got Relentless Vigor on the demons, which is an ability that's pretty unique and also really, really good with a large aura. If you just ram into people, you get your stamina back and you just can keep rushing.
Yeah.
You gotta sort of build up a chain. You gotta ram into one person, and then within 2 dashes, ram into someone else, so you keep your stamina up, and you can just sort of cross the field using your opponent as a stepping stone.
Spoken like a true demon player. Alright, looks like all we've got for this one is Jojariel specifically. So let's get started.
The fate versus.
Yeah, if you force the demons to just walk with the Typhoon Bottle or Numbing Gust, then that can be pretty painful, unless you have Orlek, which might be exactly the opposite. In some ways, he's the best counter to that, because he is a very speedy walker. Although, Lag a while back was doing some testing and actually said that the worms, I believe, from a walking speed, or, a not sprinting speed, if you want to call that walking, really slithering for the worms versus walking for Orlek. The worms are actually a little bit faster. Orlek looks really fast when he's walking, and is, for especially such a big character, but apparently the worms are still slightly faster.
It's a deluge.
So here is Jody, going with the Lanthorn, which would suggest that maybe she is going to be primarily a defensive character here, because when she banishes someone on the opposing team, she'll bring back someone from her own team. Ooh, Arumi, breaking out Gareth here.
Exile.
But Numbing Gust Typhoon Bottle actually affects them differently? Oh. Taylor's thinking about Orlek for a second there, but seems to be opting for a Savage instead. No? Maybe not. While those are active, Orlek is functionally the fastest walker. Okay. Certainly looks like it. Ametha with, I believe that was Prayer Bead, so she will be presumably the primary plunger for Phaler. Yeah, cool guy. Orlek is a super speed walker.
Jodariel
And lastly, Jotariel here for Rumi. And here we go. Rumi with a quick banishment there. Make that double banishment. Strong start here for Rumi. Now, can Rumi capitalize on having just Jotariel back here as the only defender? Jotariel intercepts the throw, and Phaler happy to wait it out a little bit longer. Get some friends back. Gertrude avoids banishment here. Gets the stamina back. Thinking about jumping. Thinking about throwing. Throw is unblockable. Makes it in for 22 damage. Another big throw. Also unblockable. That one makes it in too. Gertrude down. Deluge down. Jody gets rid of the orb. Trades. Oh, trades cast. But Jody does the banishing. But Rumi able to stop her this time. Seemingly, Rumi trying to do a little bit of banishing in advance of making moves forward. Now that he's taken out one of the defenders, starts going forward with Gareth here. Gareth goes down. Gertrude, will that throw have enough range on it? Yes, it will. So Phaler very much going with a ranged throw strategy, and it's hard to stop with those crones because those throws are unblockable, but the key is to just make sure that Gertrude can't get close enough to get them off. Easier said than done, of course, but does mean that you want to be very proactive about going after her, otherwise she'll do stuff like this and finish it off.
Good game.
Their adversaries proved no match for them. Thus end this night's proceedings.
GG. Alright. Let's head back.
Until the stars align.
Yeah, it is tough. It's what I find is basically just you always need to keep an eye out for where the crone is, and as soon as you see the crone start to advance toward the pyre, sprint down at them. Because normally what would happen with other characters is if you see a defender sprinting toward you, you try to jump over the defenders. The crones, they can do that, yes, but their recovery time after jump is very slow. So worst comes to worst, you try to rush down the crone before it gets within throwing range. It has to jump over you, and then in the time that it's recovering from its jump, you switch over to a different defender and just run in and banish the crone while it's still on its cooldown, so to speak, its recovery time, which is still not a guarantee. But, I mean, the throws are just about a guarantee if they do get close enough, those crones. So it's tough to counter, but it can be done. Just got to be quick defensively. Use your speedsters.
You gotta be very quick defensively. Yeah, it's similar to countering savages in that they both have the big leap, they both have the big throw that charges up really quickly. But with savages, the throw is blockable sometimes, but they have no end leg, so it's kind of a trade-off here between the two. And then savages also have lower damage but greater hope.
Yeah,
like so you gotta sort of, whenever you're playing against someone with Star Splinter, you have to sort of bear in mind what their throwing range is, what their jumping range is. Make sure that they always land in your aura. Because the thing about savages and crones while in the air is that they're not super maneuverable. I mean, savages can do the weird stuff, but usually you don't see that done on purpose. Crones, on the other hand, will always go in a straight line. So once you see them lift off the ground, you roughly know where they're going to land. It's kind of predictable. So you can be there to meet them.
Yeah, and the savages, as soon as they land, can throw, whereas the crones, once they do land, have a long period of time in which they have to catch their breath before they can do anything at all, so they're vulnerable.
Yeah, that end leg is quite devastating sometimes.
Any specific things we want for this next Rite, or should we just have these two pick whichever teams they'd like? Not seeing any specific requests, so why don't we do that? Why don't we just have these two pick their preferred teams?
The fate shall confront the essence. Welcome. Who shall conduct the rites?
Are there any flat earthers in the Pyre community? Why do you say that? Now Arumi breaking out some crones. I feel like Deluge would be one. Maybe.
Exile.
Now Phaler going with Raji in the second spot after taking a harp in the first spot. Looking like Snadra for Arumi, and goes for largely a defensive setup for her, rather than the more support-oriented right side of the tree. I mean, if you think about the relationship between the downside and the Commonwealth, and how presumably, well, the game says that there is some intraversible barrier between the two areas, and that the downside is presumably below Commonwealth. In some ways, the game almost implies that they are two planes of existence, quite literally flat planes. And in some ways, you could make the case, flat Earths. I mean, well, it's not Earth. But, basically, the downside is just a plane that is below the plane that is the Commonwealth. And the only way to get from one plane to the other is through the Shimmer Pool. Because, well, Manly has tried to find a way back, but no flying machine could do it. And supposedly, Messenger Imp is the only one that we know of that has been somewhat successful. I don't think he's ever actually gone back to the Commonwealth in full, but I think our information about him says that he can get close enough that he can at least transfer messages to and from, of course.
Exile.
And here we go. Arumi starting things off quickly with Crone, although a little bit shy of making it into the Pyre there. Phaler makes it in with Tamitha. Pity River down. And there you see Arumi did one of those big Crone jumps, but like we were saying, it's a long cooldown time in which they are vulnerable, and that gave Phaler enough time to swoop in and take the orb and score there. That big vengeful vow taking out some people, but Snadra's back, and she's on the move here. Oh, for a second there, it looked like she was going to avoid banishment. But she goes down. Raji back to defend, gets harp pushed, but the other characters spawning in, I believe, were actually the ones that did the damage. Oh, but look at that. Huge imp implosion there, giving Phaler plenty of time to do whatever he'd like here, including charging up a simple 20 damage throw, keeping all of his players in play here. Ooh, and Arumi just finds that little area in between those two slabs of dirt in which he is able to make it into lava. That's everyone back now, including Bertrude here. She jumps, and she plunges for 30 damage. Tamitha gets shoulder smashed. That is one of the benefits of having gone with the more defensive Snadra setup that Arumi took. Particularly against, of course, the flying-centric characters such as Tamitha. Snadra is back here. She banishes, not with shoulder smash this time, but functionally, still the same benefit. Ooh, Snadra down here. Bertrude versus Tamitha. Bertrude leaps over, but she goes down. Tamitha's back. Gets rid of it. Oh, and gets rid of Snadra as well. The preferred defender for Arumi, although Bertrude comes back and has enough time to get rid of two people. Now Raji can get rid of Lady River. Flies past Thaler's Raji. And has infinite stamina. Now it's Bertrud's turn. Oh, and she makes it in.
I dare say,
A little bit off to the side with the jump, but had enough time to sneak in afterwards.
Pyre on its side.
And now suddenly, we're tied here. Snadra shoulder smashes. Getting rid of Tamitha. Bertrude blocked and vanished. Snadra's back. And that cast nearly got rid of a couple there, but oh, Rumi vulnerable here, and Phaler takes advantage with a 20 damage plunge, and now one more hit, and Rumi could go down.
More like that, and we are finished here.
Snadra down, Bertrude down, oh, Raji as well. This could be it. But Raji picks it up for Rumi. Just the lifeline he was looking for. Now Bertrude goes for the jump, plunges for 30, and now either person is one hit away.
May as yet prevail.
Bertrude back at it, and she makes it in for the win.
The essence prevailed. Or you could say
GG.
they managed to avoid defeat.
Yeah, good game.
Thus end this night's proceedings.
Well played, you two.
Until the next Rite.
Jumping crones is always fun. Yeah, you did it to great effect that time, for sure. Lots of big jumps. Arumi was like, Lids, I heard you criticizing the crone jump before. I aimed to prove you wrong. And that you did. That you did. Alright, just to check in on Phaler and Arumi, how are you two doing? You want to stick around? Either you feel like you need
Yeah,
to
I'm
swap
looking
out?
to swap out. My wrist is not going to let me play anymore today, I don't think.
Alright, no worries. Thanks for stopping by. How are you feeling, Arumi? You want to stick around? You want to swap out as well? Arumi's still good? Okay. In that case, why don't we get someone to swap in for Phaler? Is there anyone hanging out in chat or in Discord who'd like to go next? Layla, it has been a while. Yeah, be happy to get you in. Let me see if I can get you on Steam. Are you online right now? I see ya. There we go. Yeah, I thought I remembered that perhaps even last time we had Layla in, it was typically Layla versus Arumi that we saw, and I think we had a bunch of close rights as well. So I think I remember this being a really good matchup. Need to see Manly score for the win again. And Lag is choosing Exiles. Okay, Layla, remind me, which triumvirate do you like? Who do you want to be? Arumi was like, Lag, please, no, show mercy. Then Lag goes, whoever you want. Don't worry about it. Just messing with you. Beyonders for Layla? Okay, let me get you set up then. Give me just a second here. You'll be here. Layla, and you will not be the Fate. You'll be Beyonders instead. And we have God of the Dead. Okay, so let me actually just turn off the in-game audio, music at least, and then we will go back to Tariq in that case, because I believe that is another Hades request. So, one moment while I set that up as well. Okay, so that was the exact name of the song. It's actually a different name? Okay. The Unseen Ones is actually the name. Okay, gotcha. That then? Lag is Lag's the MVP behind the scenes, making the Tariq bot magic work. Oh, that's loud. Okay, hold on, hold on. I turned it up a little bit for Falcon Ron, and oh, this one starts off very loud from the beginning. Sorry about that. There we go. That's hopefully a little bit better. You gotta speak up, mate. Alright, so I believe, Layla, you should be player 1 here. And then Arumi should be player 2. And that is a fitting emoji as well. And Layla, remind me, are you going to go mouse keyboard or are you controller? Mouse keyboard? Okay, no worries. Oh, I need to unplug my controller. One sec. There we go. Alright, and let me loop the song before I forget to do that, unless lag has bailed me out and done it for me again. Alright, there we go. Now Tariq is primed and ready to go in full. Okay, so Layla and Arumi, you ready to go? I believe that is it for us. We got the music going. Oh, we had Fall Solium as well, I believe. I believe that was Phaler that requested that. All right, let's do it.
The Beyonders shall now face the Essence. Welcome. Who shall conduct the rites?
So Layla, this will be you. And no specific requests in terms of characters or masteries or talismans or anything, so you can take whatever you want here. And Layla going with Manly here. And what if I remember correctly, we tended to see Layla was very aggressive with going with leeching talismans and made for some dramatic comeback victories, so keep a close eye out for that. For a second there, it looked like she was thinking about doing that with Manly, though now is perhaps opting for something else instead. We'll have to see. Going for the additional banishment time. Now here's Arumi. Yeah, it might be, there's that weird thing in Arumi that sometimes, for some reason, we've had it that controllers misbehave, and then as soon as you pause and then unpause, it's fine. And it looks like that's what fixed it this time as well. Snadra with Leech and Prayer Beads, so again, keep an eye out for that. Layla, I think, likely to use that Leech and perhaps even more still. Oh hey, what's up, Box Boko? How's it going? Looking like Ignarius or Rumi. Who I believe was saying previously that he's not a huge fan of using the demons, but is voluntarily opting to do so here. Been playing some PoE, now you're talking my language. Can't handle the Blade Blast visuals. Yeah. What are you going, Blade Vortex plus Blade Blast? Or Blade Ball plus Blade Blast? And Chieftain? Nice. Yeah, I hear it's quite good. I've not tried it yet myself, but I've heard many good things about it. I myself am doing Incinerate Trickster with the... I mean, I haven't got it yet, but the new ring that makes your fire damage over time instead deal damage as chaos. Or at least enemies take it as chaos damage. PoE wording. Yeah, not the best in terms of league starts, because it's a little bit... I mean, it's crit, and it's energy shield based, which is generally not a good idea to start things off with. But anyways, getting into the thick of things with it, and starting to work now. But let's just make sure that both people have their controls working here. Layla looks fine. Arumi, are you good as well? Question mark. Because I've yet to see Arumi move, which is rather concerning. Controlling the same people? What? Arumi, can you hit pause for a second? I know we had someone pausing. But can you pause and unpause and just see real quick if that fixes anything? No? Okay. Let me, Arumi, I'm gonna boot you from remote play, and then I'm gonna re-invite you. And then let's see if Pyre realizes that you're actually supposed to be player 2. Let's give that a shot. The triumvirs have turned on each other. Okay, I've resent you the invite, Arumi. Turns out the matchup got a little bit one-sided. There we go. Now Arumi's on the right side. Okay, so now we're good to go. All right, 3, 2, 1, resume. Okay, so here we go. Arumi tries to go into that sapling, which you can do as a harp. If you go straight into it with your cast, you can actually destroy the sapling. But missed the mark just a little bit on that first attempt there. Of course, you can also take out Manly himself, and that will also get rid of his sapling, and does so here. In fact, gets rid of 2 people. Arumi, I hate the flappy wing harps. I am not pleased to see it. Arumi, again, trying to get rid of the sapling, but just misses it. And you gotta be careful when you're doing casts with any other character, because the sapling can deflect those casts, and that nearly took Ignarius out. That was Manly himself taking Ignarius out this time. Ametha and Manly in a bit of a standoff here. That time, Arumi pulls it off, gets rid of the sapling. No, Arumi, don't do it! Now here's Barker, and Barker makes it in for 20 damage. But Arumi did take some additional starting Pyre life, and therefore, technically speaking, Arumi's still in the lead here, and extends that lead. And there is the aura deflecting back in Ignarius, but there is Pamitha destroying the sapling. He has the orb here, but she gets shoulder smashed. Snadra, oh, she goes down. Now the Stowaway, in a dangerous spot, able to get in a quick throw here for 20 damage, dropping Layla down to 50 HP. But as we were saying before, Layla does have some Pyre leech. And so, for that reason, you can't really ever rule Layla out. We've seen some dramatic comebacks before. She could be in for another one here, although dropping down to 30 Pyre life is, of course, perhaps not something she'd like to see. Ametha loops around. Punches for 20. So Layla running out of time here. Can make a comeback, yes. Can get Pyre life back with Snadra, and I think she opted not to go that route with Manly. But Snadra is probably the go-to if she is looking to get some Pyre life back, because very little margin for error at this point. Just about any hit from Arumi would do the trick. And, okay, Pamitha does get shoulder smash. Perhaps justice for Pamitha having done the crazy flappy wings. Layla just waiting to get some other friends back. Snadra goes down, though. And Arumi cannot pick up the orb with Ignarius, so he is no threat here. Pamitha is the big one, of course. She's been doing the primary scoring job for Arumi thus far, and she banishes a couple people here. But she gets blocked. He gets banished. And like we were saying, Ignarius, sure, he can banish, yes, but he can't pick up the orb, so he's not really any threat to Layla here. The Stowaway, though, she is. Oh, but Layla has some rekindling, so she's not done yet. But this is her second and final life bar now. Snadra shoulder smashes Pamitha once more. Starting to make a move. Falls the safety of the sapling. Just Ignarius back to defend. But that's all it takes for Rumi. All he needs. Ignarius takes out Manly. However, Barker, had a bit of a head start there, but Rumi switched over to Pamitha quickly enough. Pamitha approaching the Pyre. She gets shoulder smashed again. That is, of course, a strong counter, having a shoulder smash Nomad to any high-scoring harps. So as long as Snadra is there to defend, then Layla will be fairly comfortable with that. There is Barker plunging there. So a little bit of scoring for Layla, and we did see, yes, a little bit of leech, it seems. She's up to 20 Pyre life now. So Layla looking for a slow War of Attrition match here. She can slowly work her way up to the point where she's no longer in danger of going down in one hit. That will be her objective. And of course, in the process, she'll be dealing damage. This is a risk here. She's no other people back other than just Barker. Now that Snadra is back, she can perhaps be a little bit more aggressive, but now Barker goes down. But she is still in the territory where one stowaway score could do it. So she really wants to get one more score to leech back a little bit more life to get her into the safety zone once again. Then she can be a little bit more aggressive, but until then, needs to focus on playing defensively. That was a harp push that could have been game, but still able to stop her. Ametha, that is. Now Snadra starting to make moves, and she has leech as well. She makes it in, and there it is. 20 damage, lowers the Pyre life for Rumi, and now Layla back up to 30, and at this point, she's safe from, well, I suppose anything but an Ignarius plunge. We're not really expecting to see that, but Rumi says, hold on, one moment while I knock you back down to 10. So Layla back in the danger zone now. As we said, it's not over. Except Pamitha pulls off the harp push, makes it in, and that one does the trick. GG. No worries, Layla. Well played. We'll head back into versus mode, and chat, let us know if there's anything you want to see for the next Rite. Yeah, especially if you haven't played in a long time, then perfectly fine, right. Well played. Okay, so we specifically requested Fall Solium for the previous one. We'll reset from that and go back to a random song, and then we will take off Tariq Bot, unless there are any other requests that we want to have, in which case, let me know. Even with the double stamina, couldn't dash 4 times. Huh. Interesting. I wonder if it's only three dashes. If you're doubling the base stamina, now I'm thinking like in PoE terms. Is it increased stamina or is it more stamina? One person will get that reference. Anyways, let me turn off TariqBot. He's been jamming pretty hard. Might need to take a little break here. But let me know if there's anything else we want from a song or other request standpoint, either. Night Howler's acoustic? Okay. That we can make happen. That does mean we'll keep this off. And that means we will bring TariqBot back. But I suppose it's still it's a little bit more of a calm one. Gives TariqBot a little bit of a chance to relax after he was going pretty hard. TariqBot was going pretty darn hard in the previous one. No worries, no worries. And acoustic is that technically White Lute? Is that the official name of it? I think it is. Yeah, it's White Lute? Okay, gotcha. Alright, we got that primed and ready to go. And Nightbot taking out its anger on Kracha. Anything else we want for the next, right? I don't know if I've heard this one in the acoustic version. I mean, it doesn't sound that different from the usual version, other than this part here. One minute to get a drink? No worries. No worries, Layla. Chat, that means we'll have a minute here if you have anything in particular you want to see. So we have the song request, but there are any arenas, mastery, or exiles, masteries, talismans. Any of that stuff is fair game. Let's all make crazy requests while she's gone. Let's activate all Titan Stars against her. And then not tell her. We'll get it all set up so she doesn't even realize until the rite begins. No, that would be mean. Baylor is choosing exiles and immediately afterward, Rumi goes, please spare me. Speaking of requests, Baylor's putting his money where his mouth is. Throwing down the lid coin. Two harps, and then either crone, worm, or third harp. No Star Splinter or prayer beads. Huh. So no quick throwing. And no easy plunging and coming back. Okay. Okay. Definitely some strong talismans that we're excluding in that case. Spring of Jomir. Nice. Rumi's like, Baylor, what are you doing? I thought you were kidding when you said make all these requests while she's gone. Baylor's actually doing it. Apparently, he was not kidding. Layla is back. Layla, so people were joking about making a bunch of requests while you were gone. And, well, we thought they were joking. And then they actually did make a bunch of requests. So yes, a lot has changed since you left. We have Spring of Jomir. We have... What else did we end up doing? We have, in terms of exiles, it's 2 harps. And then the third character is either another harp. Let me double check what the other alternatives were. Third character is... Crone, worm, or a third harp. You see it all? Okay, gotcha. Good, good. And the spring. We were joking. Until we weren't.
The Beyonders shall take on the essence. Welcome. Who shall conduct the rites?
Did I loop this one? I may not. Oh, I did. Either I did or lag bailed me out again. So, gonna see a lot of harps for sure. Be interesting to see what people opt to take from a talisman standpoint, because we got a couple of the strongest talismans barred. And then the third exile, do people opt to go all in on the harps? So you could go with a second harp here, could go with a worm, could go with a crone. No prayer beads, no star splinter. Layla keeping her options open, going for the harp here. And no prayer beads, that one's restricted. She goes for the leeching instead. And as we said before, it's usually one of her go-to strategies, so may not be switching things up too much, at least in Layla's case. And Arumi also going harp here. And the rare 100% right side harp. Thinking about the talismans. Goes for, was that the Scribe Rock for additional presence there, I believe? So, bit of a defensive play from Arumi. Then last one here for Layla could be a third harp. Otherwise, could be a worm, could be a crone. So some flexibility here. Looking like she's thinking Udmilda. Goes all left side. And Legendary Talisman to allow Udmilda to cast through barriers. So nowhere is safe. And Arumi was thinking about a worm, but we have, of course, heard Arumi say that he's a fan of using the crones, so may opt to do so here. Also, seemingly going with 100% left side, like Layla did, and was thinking about the crone Legendary Talisman for a second there. Can't go with the quick throwing talisman, which was something that we saw a couple people using earlier. It is, of course, a strong combo with the crones, because those throws are unblockable, but not an option this time around, so what does Arumi do to switch things up? Vengeful Vow. Strong talisman, but you don't see it too often on the crones. Let's see if Arumi can put it to good use here. Here we go. Tamitha down. Tamitha and Bertrand down. That leaves Arumi defenseless here. Layla with some time to get an unblockable throw off. Is it on target? It is.
Pyre is the first to falter.
So there's 22 damage to lead things off here for Layla. And two harps switching places there, and somehow Arumi ends up with the orb, I suppose. Flies around everybody. Some zigzags. Well done there. Maneuvering into the Pyre for 25 damage, and with Triesta's Plume Legendary Harp Talisman, Arumi has a 50% chance of coming back after plunging if Arumi is flying, and did get so this time around. So, lucky on this occasion, but here we see Layla plunging. Does not have Triesta's Plume, however, does have the life lead. That means that Layla is taking the lead here, back up to 85 life, and plunges for 15 damage here. We did see both people take Stubborn Flame on their crones, which will reduce the amount of damage that everyone scores by 10 if their team is losing. Rumi plunges here for 25, and that leaves Layla still in the lead here. And bit of a standoff between the two harps. Generally speaking, if two harps are charging into each other, or at least primed to charge into each other, whichever one goes first is likely to be banished. Hence why they were waiting for the other one to go first. Layla seemingly shot Tabitha out of a cannon there. He makes it in for 10 damage. Layla extending the lead here, and Arumi trying to banish, gets rid of one. Tabitha trying to defend, although Arumi flies over. And that is the Trieste Plume Harp. 25 damage, and will she come back? She will. So Arumi gets lucky here again, although Layla says, well, not gonna matter much if I make it in there for 10 damage plunge. Ludmilda, she goes down. And Arumi, if not for the, whoa, hard push there, but if not for the Stubborn Flame from Bertrude, would be vulnerable right now.
In goes the orb.
But pushes the defender into the corner and banishes them. Or actually, the defender pushed Bertrude into the corner, yet Bertrude still got the banishment off and then got the unblockable throw off. Now we are quite close. Layla technically now is behind, which means that Layla will have Stubborn Flame active. Which makes Arumi arguably more vulnerable than Layla here, despite Arumi having more HP. It's a bit of the counterintuitive nature of the Stubborn Flame with the Crones is you want to be behind in some ways, as long as you're close enough. But Arumi has enough to get the job done.
Perhaps a stroke of fortune ought to be thanked.
GG. Close match.
Is complete.
The Plume did the trick. Alright, let's head back.
Until the stars align.
Yeah, Rumi might have plunged seemingly every time with the Plume Harp, which is one of those things where if you can remember which harp has it, then that's great. You can make a point of doing it. You get a little bit of extra damage. You have the chance of coming back from banishment after you do plunge. And if not, then of course you're going to get less damage and the person's probably going to be permanently banished. So just having the presence of mind of making sure that you are doing all of your attacking, or at least most of your attacking, with your best plunging character. And Rumi did so that time. So, let me know if there are any specific songs or arenas or characters, masteries, talismans we want for the next one here. You did lose her one time to it. Even then, though, I mean, you're still getting the extra damage, so it still works well. I think that's a very underrated talisman. Of all the legendary talismans, I'm surprised we don't use it more. I know it's in many ways just some people see it as a lesser prayer beads. So on this occasion, when prayer beads gets banned, that's perhaps why it saw the light of day, but nonetheless, I feel like it's good enough that it perhaps deserves a little more attention than it gets. Alright, and now we're going meta. Okay, let me turn off TariqBot, because I don't think we're getting any song requests here. Unless, there's a last minute one here. I do wish Ron was a playable character as well. If you pick him, he takes up 2 character slots, what? One for him, one for his dad. That is great. His dad is like a slow, lumbering demon that carries him on his shoulders, and then if you press the jump button when you're his dad, Falcon Ron jumps off his dad's shoulders, and then he's like a quick-moving imp, or maybe... let's say imp. Alright, Rage of Demons. That does mean that we can do that in-game. We don't need TariqBot. So, let me turn off TariqBot here. And let us turn back on the actual in-game music. There we go. Alright. And make sure we actually hit Rage of Demons. Then we have the various Orlek requests from Phaler. So it's Orlek, Prayer Beads, or Star Splinter. He is going to be his talisman, usually two of the go-tos. And then Crushing Heal if you take the Prayer Beads, and then Celestial Spike if you take the Star Splinter. So basically, if you're going for the Throwing Orlek, then go all in on Throwing Orlek. If you're going for the Plunging Orlek, then go all in on the Plunging Orlek. Alright, let us give it a shot. I mean, Pamitha is a relatively normal name.
Versus the essence.
The other names are a little bit fantasy-ish.
Who shall conduct the rites?
Sandra, also a name that you could very well see around. Any other ones that are... Bertrude as well. I mean, somewhat uncommon, but not unheard of. Yeah, close to Garith, but not quite. Like Garith with two T's, Garith, TH. And else kind of like that. Sorta. Bay. May is pretty common though, yeah. I went with Tay in my playthrough, which is maybe, yeah, it's definitely less common, but I feel like that's also theoretically possible that you could run into real people with that name as well. Lendl, also a little uncommon, but not out of the question. What? Like 10 people you know have the name Barker? And they're all dogs? Ready to die on the Bay Hill. Yeah, everyone has their preferences. Hence, I tend to refer to her as the Stowaway, to avoid striking up that battle. Really? Do I know anyone named Shay? Yeah, actually, I think I've known people with the name Shay as well. I have, yeah. I don't know how they spelled it, come to think of it, but at least pronunciation-wise, certainly. When we were saying Pamitha is a relatively normal name, Tamitha as well. Actually, I'd be curious which one is more common. Yeah, I think we just know Poppy, and that's about it. I don't think we know anything more than that. Tabitha? What? Ron Sr. big run. Snadra is the last pick here for Layla. I believe I did see some life leech with the last mastery on the left-hand side. So perhaps a little bit more of the same for Layla. Like we said, that is one of her go-tos, and we've seen her use to great effect already. Do people have the name Almer? I don't know if I've met anyone with the name Almer before. Now, Messenger Imp, I've heard of many people named Messenger Imp before.
Sir Gilman.
Gilman to finish things off here, and here we go. Layla's Orlek goes down here. Except Layla has the ability to resurrect Orlek if she can stand on his portrait. Of course, maybe easier said than done at times, but that is important because, of course, otherwise, Orlek may take quite a while to come back. Layla makes it in with Snadra here for 20 damage plunge. Here's Arumi's Orlek, and Arumi went the Celestial Spike route, so watch out for banishments like that. But he goes down here. Now Layla's Orlek. Oh, but he steps into the sapling. Well placed from Arumi. And lots of banishments there. But Layla's Orlek is back. Oh, except the cast bounces back in his face and takes him out. Just Layla's manly, and, well, not really the person you want to be walking with, because he is quite slow at that. Unblockable throw here from Arumi, though it's off target. Oh, and the sapling goes down right on top of him, so it worked well, but Orlek, this is the person you want to have. This is what we were talking about before. Orlek is the fastest walker, so when it comes to Numbing Gust or the Typhoon Bottle, you'll want to have Orlek when that's active, because you can't sprint, you can't throw, can't use any other abilities. All you can do is walk, and Orlek is the best at that. The Gilman is a last name. That's true. I have definitely met some people with Gilman as a last name. For extending it to last names as well as first names. Layla with Orlek. Narrowly avoids getting banished by the sapling there and makes it in. And Layla went the prayer beads route. So that means that Layla's Orlek comes back here. So that is interesting to see that they both went different directions with their Orlek setups. Snadra plunges. And as we were saying before, Layla did take some leech there. So that is a big play there. That means dealing 20 damage and leeching 10 back. Orlek with the banishment, although, oh, got some last-minute returns there from the worms for Rumi. However, here's the speedy walk in Orlek for Layla. Narrowly makes it in past that sapling there, and like we were saying, Orlek is the speed walk you're looking for in that situation when Numbing Gust and or the Typhoon Bottle is active. Rumi gets blocked and banished. Snadra hops over one defender, but Orlek's big aura is no easy task to jump over that. For Orlek down, at least for Rumi, this is Layla's Orlek. Banishes a defender, avoids getting banished, and somehow makes it in there. And that triggers Arumi's rekindling, so Rumi onto the second life bar, but one more hit would likely do the trick for Layla. So Rumi running out of time. And with 75 Pyre life on Layla's side, make that 60. Arumi trying to find a way to whittle that down. Layla with Snadra. Snadra, stop before she make it into the Pyre. Now, the problem now for Rumi is that Gilman plunged, and Gilman did not have prayer beads, so he's not coming back. So that means that all Rumi has is Orlek and Manly. Don't really want to score with Manly, and they both take a while to come back from banishment, giving Layla plenty of time to lock this one in with Orlek for the win.
They brushed aside their adversaries without too much trouble. The
GG.
rite is done.
Alright, let's head on back.
Until the stars align.
Also known as In Case of Trouble. I was like, what? Oh, is that what they had named it originally in the No Clip documentary? Did we get the inside info on that being the name? I vaguely remember that. Okay. I see. So that means let's turn off the in-game music here. And let's jump back into Versus mode, and let's jump back into Discord real quick to activate TariqBot. So, TariqBot, could you please play In Case of Trouble? I think we need to turn this back up a little bit. We turned it down a lot after we had at least one song that was quite loud, and perhaps now that we're back to normal volume songs, so to speak, we bump it up a little bit more. Bump it a little bit. This is a little bit of a quiet part of the song, and we'll get a little bit louder, so I think this might still be the way to go. There we go. Yeah, it's been too long since I last heard this song. And Anarina requests all curs, 3 curs. And with the Flame Leech, without prayer beads. So I would say all curs is usually quite fast, because that's a very offensively oriented team. However, with no prayer beads, that does complicate matters a bit. And then the life leech from the Flame Leech, I don't know, that could extend things. We'll have to see. Let's try it out.
The Beyonders shall now face the Essence. Welcome. Who shall conduct the rites?
So if we're going all curs, that does mean that there's little differentiation between these teams. It's going to come down to which masteries they opt to take and which talismans they opt to take. And Layla going all the way down on the right side, which is a little bit unusual, and puts the leech on Barker, the leading cur. So we'll see how Rumi responds here. Rumi also leading off with Barker. And goes for the same mastery setup. Uncommon as it may be. Takes some leech there as well. Yeah, actually, Layla took a additional leech talisman. That was not necessarily... I don't think that was one that was actually requested. But as we were saying, Layla's a fan of the leech, and so maybe she's thinking, well, we'll just take the leech any and everywhere. Now, yeah, Layla sticks with the same setup here. And this time goes with the Flame Leech. So that means that Barker and Ruki, on Layla's side at least, are both leeching. As for Rumi, okay, now this time Rumi goes for what we would normally see from a cur setup standpoint. Goes for the speed. That'll be a big difference there between the Rukis. Layla slower, but able to leech. Rumi much faster, but no leeching. Now we see an all left side Kerr for Dalbert. But which talisman to take? Thinking about maybe the extra presence for larger aura. Locks in. So that means Dalbert is theoretically the Kerr that Layla is least fond of scoring with, because he's the one Kerr that cannot leech. Whereas Arumi can leech with Barker, can deal a little bit more damage with Rookie, and he's much faster, but no prayer beads. So we'll see how this all plays out. And you see just how much bigger that aura is for Dalbert, especially when he's near his friendly Kerrs. Here's Arumi. Oh, opted for the throw, but it was a little bit short. That is also potentially a difference maker. Layla plunging here with Barker for 20 damage. Because there's no prayer beads, Layla did actually opt to take the Kerr mastery all the way down on the right side for almost everyone. That is functionally the equivalent of prayer beads, so that could help quite a bit. Does mean that she can plunge whenever she would like with those characters. But for those Kerrs that do not have that, it is important to cast, or rather, important to throw the orb into the Pyre so that you don't go down one Kerr. But then again, on both teams, I think we have some characters that have that mastery and some that don't. And so trying to remember in a flash which ones have it and which ones don't, in time to know, do I need to throw? Can I plunge? That is, at times, a difficult decision to make. On this occasion, Layla plunges, and I believe we saw that Barker can, in fact, come back. He has that mastery. So that's fine. But Arumi is going for the throws here. I think Arumi did go all the way down on the right side with his Barker as well. I think the Barkers are identical. So that does mean that Arumi, at least with Barker, can go straight in, doesn't need to worry about throwing. Arumi, with Barker, does the plunge this time. And perhaps we will get the chance to confirm or disprove our theory. Yes, Barker does come back. So there you see, Arumi is able to plunge with Barker. The other Kerrs, though, I'm not sure he did. But it goes for it this time as well. Now, as for Rookie, I don't think he will. Because I think Arumi went all out on the speed with him. And the more traditional Kerr setup, so Arumi is down one Kerr in that case. Blocks here. Still waiting for Barker to come back, but Rookie will not. So potentially advantage Layla in that regard. And I think Dalbert is the one character who cannot plunge safely for Layla, because he is all left side. So that was good presence of mind there from Layla to go for the throw rather than the plunge with Dalbert. That brings us close here. Still slight lead to Arumi, although that lead extends. As we said, safe to plunge with Barker. The arena continues to grow smaller.
Good.
Layla with Rookie. Can't avoid the opposing Rookie when Arumi rushes down with him. And at this point, Arumi doesn't much care as for whether his characters will get banished permanently when they go in, as long as they have the full 20 damage. If they have 15, then that won't be enough. But if it's a full 20, then Arumi could finish it. Oh, but had to cut that throw a little bit short, I think, and it got intercepted as well. Barker for Layla. He goes down. Dalbert. That big aura banishes one. Rookie. Don't recall what the setup is for Rookie on Layla's side. I think he can also plunge. I think he was also all right side. I didn't even see Rookie there, but okay. Sure, plunges for 20, and yes, he is coming back, confirmed. Barker. He gets stopped, then banished. Rookie. He gets stopped. And Layla has leached a little bit of Pyre life back after having scored, which is significant because Layla was at 20 Pyre life, which for some Curs would have been enough to take Layla out in one hit, but now she is safe from any Cur at this point. Nobody can deal 30 damage in one swoop. Of course, additional leash would further assist, but it brings us rather close between these two. Oh, nifty turn around and banish from Arumi, and then finishes with the plunge here, dropping Layla back down to 10 Pyre life, so any score would do it now, and Arumi finishes it.
The essence prevails. Such a well-conducted victory.
Stream looks a little jittery. Yeah, we were having that a little
The
bit
ceremony
a
is
couple weeks ago.
complete.
It's looking fine on my end in the game, so I'll keep a bit of a closer eye
Until
on my
the
little
next
stream
round.
preview. See if I can figure out if it's... I don't think it's the game itself. It's a question of would it be my streaming software or is it Twitch itself? I'll try to keep a closer eye out for that and see what the culprit might be. Gotta put something in the oven? Why don't I, in that case, I'll restart Pyre real quick here, in case that is causing any issues. Maybe I'll take that opportunity to do so. I don't think it's gonna be much of a fix here, but it's possible, so we'll give that a shot. Let me just try that out. Oh no, we're gonna exit and lose our progress. I think we'll be fine. I think we'll be fine. So that may be enough to fix the jitteriness. It's of course the easiest way to potentially fix the problem, but I'm a little bit skeptical. See you, Kraja. Thanks for stopping by. No worries, Arumi. Let me get you back in. Or actually, technically speaking, I should invite Layla first, because she is player 1. Shouldn't matter too much when one person is on mouse keyboard and the other person is on controller. Then again, we did see earlier, Pyre wanted to have you both play as the same team, so maybe it does matter after all. Let me just send you both a quick invite here. Okay, invite sent to Layla. And to Arumi as well. And Arumi, if you could just hit your bumpers real quick on your controller, see if you're changing the sigil on player 2. That would confirm if you are still player 2 or if you're... you appear to be player 1. Okay, let me switch that around in that case. I'll put you on player 1 on the stream as well. I sent Layla the invite first, but of course Layla is AFK at the moment, so I think you accepted the invite first, which I suppose is ultimately what made you player 1. We could just not tell Layla. Not tell Layla that she's going to be on the other side now to continue to mess with her. No, no, we'll let her know. Okay. And that, of course, means we'll be looking to swap these around as well. There we go. Alright, yeah, so we restarted the game, and hopefully that'll help a little bit with the stutteriness, but, we'll see. Because that's, of course, like I said, that's the easiest thing to do is just restart the game, but if it's anything other than that, like the streaming software itself, obviously to restart that, I'd have to end the stream and boot it back up, which I'd rather not do. And if it's on Twitch's side, then I just can't do anything at all, because that's on Twitch. Managed to not set myself on fire. I'd say that is pretty important. So heads up, Layla, that we have switched things around a little bit because I restarted the game and then I re-invited you both. And in doing so, I believe we will find that Arumi is now player 1 and that you are now player 2, so just heads up that you're going to be on the opposite side now. The habit of burning meatloaf. Oh yeah, and then we'll want to do this as well. Good catch. And we are done with this song here. So I'm going to ask Tariq Bot to leave unless there are any other songs that chat you want to hear for this next right. Otherwise, we'll go back to the in-game music. Or any other requests for that matter. Rumi was saying that this is likely to be his last ride of the night. And so if there's anything in particular that you want to see Arumi do before he heads out, then now is your last chance to do it. But seeing no such requests, I will, in fact, escort Tariq Bot out of the building. And that means that I will turn back on the in-game music. Alright. There we go. Lag Machine is choosing Exiles. Okay. Uh-oh. He's laughing maniacally. It's not stopping. What's he doing? What's he done this time? You know what? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Brace yourself. Pick whatever you want. Oh. Okay, then. Sounds good. Got him. He did it earlier today. He did do it earlier today. He sticks with it.
Shall confront the Beyonders.
Layla's like, you coward.
Welcome.
Give us your worst.
Who shall conduct the rites?
Meanwhile, Rumi's like, thank you so much, you're my savior. Ooh, okay, Rumi breaking out Gareth. Okay, and Manly first. On Layla's side now, I have to make a point of remembering that they've switched sides, as I'm sure, at least initially, I'm going to be thinking that Arumi is still on the right and Layla is still on the left.
Anatha.
And as per usual, staple of Layla's teams, Sinadra here, going all the way down the left side. And goes for additional leech. That will stack, so that means a full 20 leech if Layla can make it in with Sinadra. So keep a close eye on her. A little bit difficult to make that happen, of course, because she's not the most mobile character. She's just middle of the pack in that regard. But if she can make it happen, then that could be a pretty big game changer. I mean, that's functionally a net 40 damage swing. Damaging Arumi's Pyre for 20, then healing 20 back on her own. And Arumi goes to Dariel with the additional presence. Then Orlek, the extra hope. Last one here. Let us begin.
Oh, no.
Alright, so now I'm looking more closely at the stream preview, and I'm definitely seeing those jitters there. So that's not happening in-game, but it is definitely happening on the actual stream that is heading out your way. At least from what I'm seeing here, that looks pretty janky, but I wasn't eyeing it too closely before, so let me know if that is any better or worse than what you guys were seeing before. Still pretty jittery? Yeah, that does complicate matters a bit, because there's no quick and easy, simple solution if it was not just restarting the game, because then I would have to go through and take a deeper dive into see what might be causing the problem. And like I said, there's a chance that it's Twitch. Although, yeah, hard to tell at this stage.
Banished from this place.
Well, here is Layla with Snadra, but Jody takes her out. Jody versus Orlek. Orlek takes out Jody.
Now to the flame.
Orlek lunges for 25. Snadra makes it in, and like we were saying, deals 20 damage, leeches 20 damage, bring Layla up to 165.
How sad for Manly.
Ametha. Orlek stops her, banishes her, takes the orb, knocks back Jodario, but it's Gareth who actually gets rid of him.
Onward thus to great glory.
Yeah, after this Rite, I'll take a quick look and see if I can do anything more directly on the stream side to see if I can make the jitters a little bit less. Orlek.
The orb is taken.
Jody to Pamitha. Pamitha gets the stamina back. Flies around Snadra. Opts to throw, but that gets intercepted.
The orb
Snadra down.
flamed again.
Pamitha still dangerous here. Orlek to defend. And actually knocks her down into the lava. Don't see that happen too often.
That Pyre's flames.
And Orlek makes it in, dropping Arumi down to just 10 Pyre life now.
Once more like that, and we are finished.
Gareth, intercepted. Manly and Snadra both down here, so big opportunity for Arumi. Problem is, with Numbing Gust, that means that Arumi cannot throw the orb, and deliberately waited until someone came back so that he could do that, except then it got intercepted, and then Snadra shoulder smashes Gareth. So tough situation for Arumi.
Slow there, Pamitha.
Gareth takes one out, but then ends up in the lava. Ametha versus Snadra. Snadra down. That doesn't happen too often. Harp versus Snadra when Snadra has shoulder smash. Harp wins out. Manly. Making moves. But he goes down here.
Out of luck for now.
Snadra goes down as well, and again, everyone down on Layla's side, because, largely, Orlek is permanently banished. That leaves Layla with, at most, 2 people. Oh, but Arumi waits patiently for someone to come back so that he can jump, and times it well.
'Tis taken.
Gareth, throw still intercepted. Manly on the move. Not for long, though. Gareth down as well. Orlek. Oh, he had a free alleyway into the fire, but he ends up in the lava there. Unfortunate. This time makes it past Gareth, and into the Pyre for the victory.
The Beyonders prevailed.
GG.
'Twas a glorious performance, I must say. The rite is complete.
No worries. Thanks for stopping by, Rumi. Happy to have you. And let me take just a second here to see if there's anything I can do on the stream end to try to make it a little less jittery, but like I said, that is not exactly the most straightforward of things to fix on the fly. And I'm not entirely sure, to tell you the truth, what I can change without actually having to stop/restart the stream. So I'm going to try to do, there's at least one thing I have in mind here that I think could help. Actually, let me check if I'm technically dropping frames. Well, there's this, which is not helpful. It's technically not dropped frames, so that does make it a little tricky to figure out what the issue is in that case. Yeah, it looks like the thing that I was planning on messing with, it appears as though I cannot change while we are currently in the process of streaming. I think I'm going to be quite limited in what I could do without outright just restarting the stream. But even then, the thing that normally would be happening would be that that you'd be dropping frames, and so you can basically lower the quality of the stream a little bit, make it easier to get the stream out, and therefore make it less likely for you to drop the frames. But since that's not actually the issue, it's actually something else, and my very helpful description here says that everything is fine. Don't worry about it. Totally fine, except it isn't. So this is what I mean, where it's not as simple as straightforward as, oh yeah, let's just fix it. Just yeah, it looks weird. Just press a button and make everything okay. No, it's not that easy. So unfortunately, that means that there's not really anything I could do here. I mean, the only thing remaining that I'd say is potentially a solution might be to just outright restart the streaming software, which obviously would mean that I would have to stop the stream and then boot it back up once it's back up and running. It would be pretty quick, but I am not sure how much, if at all, that would actually help, because, you know, it's the low tech, we'll just wait and restart the application approach. Yeah, I mean, it definitely is something to do with the actual video capture component, but yeah, that's like, you know, it's not straightforward to fix that, because, like I showed you, there's no obvious thing that says this is exactly what is going wrong. All right, I guess I'll throw it back at you guys in chat, because I can see a preview of what the stream looks like, but that's not always super accurate of like exactly what it looks like from your perspective. So what do you all feel? Do you want to continue to go with the stream as is right now and we'll just put up with the jitteriness? Or would you prefer that I take a second here, restart the streaming application, and that would mean the stream would go down for a minute or two, and then would boot back up, and then we hope that after it launches back up, that it fixes itself? It hurts to look at it. Okay, that sounds like in that case that it probably is worth restarting in that case. So why don't I give that a shot? I don't know for a fact that it's going to work, but I think at this stage, that's our best bet. Okay, and people, yeah, it seems like most people are saying it's definitely worth giving it a shot to just restart it and see what happens. Okay, so in that case, I'll end the stream here, but I will restart and be back on, and I mean, should be quite quick, unless, I mean, I suppose there's a non-zero chance the streaming software has an application update, but even that's usually quite quick, so it should just be a minute or two. So in that case, I will be right back, so don't worry.